Alright, good morning, good evening, good day. Hope you had a good weekend. There's still absolutely dog garbage weather over here in my region. I can't go on any walks because I'm too afraid I'm gonna end up wet. But I hate the weather. Yeah, and they say global warming my ass. What a joke. It's so cold here. Like, honestly, had I had the money, I would have moved to some sunny location already. But whatever. My problems. Let us move on. We will start with the report. So again, obligatory reminder, we got YouTube channel. As you can see, I've already uploaded some more videos here from stream. We even have now For You section. You can see that's the Star Citizen video. Well, it's more like a Star Citizen rant. I spent about 16 minutes ranting on IGN comments. Definitely did not expect I could rant for so long, but hey. Nobody watched it, unfortunately. Some people actually watched the short, however nobody clicked on this, so that's sad. Then we got How to Not Get Kidnapped. You should definitely watch this. You might learn something. Yeah, we've seen a very creative way to prevent kidnapping. Although, honestly, he would have probably gotten kidnapped if they didn't panic. Yeah, you have to always have a lighter on you, so they actually are scared of you. And yeah, it's starting to fill up a bit. Still, we need more videos on many playlists. I'm sad. I'm so sad. I want this video to do good. However, YouTube does not want this video to do good. 41 minutes. Come on, like this video deserves to get views, deserves to get attention. Because this is very terrifying and I feel like not many people actually talk about it. Oh well, what can we do? Bots channel. We've got 6. We are going to be starting a June playlist now. You can watch my May streams here. Now let's go for the more detailed recap. So, as you could see, I'm gonna refresh to get the most accurate data. So, Microsoft AI Recall absolute banger, 573 views, 13 commands, banger. YouTube algorithm seems to like it very much. Germany's AFD can't stop taking L's. Yeah, it got some views like after this video exploded, but afterwards nothing. Dead. USA pro-life activists put on a trial. Dead. This video is dead and I'm very upset about it. AI hype continues. Nvidia stocks up to 100%. Dead, however, it got a lot of impressions. At one point, however, nobody clicked on it. People do not want to be well informed and they do not want to get rich. They want to stay poor. So I will probably won't be doing any other videos on the stock market. I might include it on Steam, but I won't be bothering because people do not want to know about this. People want to stay poor. People want to believe their government is going to make them rich, which they won't. So I unfortunately dead. What do we have next? Rishi Sunak's Wanda fiasco is finally over. Dead. The first Twitter bizarre. Dead. The eternal debate about wage caps. Dead. 4 people stabbed in France. Also dead. Kosovo rents 300 prison cells to Denmark. It's actually lowering a bit. It's still getting views once a while. Today it got 3. That's pretty good. The reach is doing pretty good. However, not many people are clicking on it. I think they're actually clicking on it now a bit more than they were originally. So maybe this video will do good. But video is actually. But however, we got one more again. Star Citizens. 4 views actually. Oh, so 2 people clicked on it now. Just now, actually, like few minutes ago. That's good. So it seems there's still hope for this. Let's see the reach. Okay, it's loading soon. The click-through rate is appalling once again. However, the algorithm seems to have promoted this once again. So this video might not be so dead after all. We'll see in the upcoming hours and days. What video is doing actually good is the Biden versus Democrats. The Democratic Party doesn't agree over the Palestinian war or the Palestine war. 20 views, 21 actually now. Nothing to talk about it. It seems to be doing very good. I actually got a new subscriber out of this. However, he did not like the video, so... But hey, it's a new subscriber, that's something. The reach, it has 1.7k impressions, that's pretty good. The click-through rate is pretty appalling. However, it's getting the views, so there's still hope. And if it goes over at least like 80 plus views, I believe the click-through rate is going to go up relatively significantly, maybe to 2% or 1.8%. So there's still hope for this video. Hopefully that's good and people actually starts coming to the channel for the political stuff. It's not like I don't want to do, the tech stuff. However, I would prefer to do politics because I would have to do extensive research about text and I would be able to do it for some time. However, it would start to bother me really quick. So yeah, it's maybe good for short term. However, in long term, I just would get bored of it, and people would be and definitely I would have to make a extensive research. I would not be able to put out any, false information, any hoax that could garner me a bad attention, which I do not want. We got then a League of Legends 500 Faker skin fail, absolute fail, nobody watched it. 500 million user personal information at risk. Ticketmaster, oopsie. It's been out for 1 day, but it seems nobody watched it. Nope. Nobody watched it, and the impression spin. Yeah, YouTube actually sent out some, but nobody clicked on this again. Nobody's interested. And we got the how to not get kidnapped, which has been reach-wise. Actually, YouTube has not started promoting it at the moment, so we might still do good with this video, who knows. And as you can see, I have a bunch of videos scheduled from the last week's streams. Today we're just in for a minute, actually, we're gonna get video on the UK general elections, where the circus begin. I believe this was about Keir Starmer talking about border safety and stuff, trying to woo the UK voters. Afterwards, we are gonna get a video about United States. Trump make promises to potentially bomb Russia and China to his donors. I believe he actually made that promise to bomb Russia if Russia invades Ukraine in 2024. I have that feeling now. Yes, I have no words for it. Like, I still hope it's from 2020. However, he was not doing these kinds of, meetings for money so much in 2020. And yeah, I'm starting to fear that, yeah, he really did say if Russia invades Ukraine. And yeah, that has you asking, and what the heck is Russia doing in Ukraine now? So, yeah, whatever. And we have a bunch of videos. We have a video about World Economic Forum with Klaus Schwab, everyone's favorite supervillain. We got the Latino Jason voice. Hopefully this does good, because honestly, this is quite clickable in my opinion. We have something about robots, we have something about stupid vegans, we have something about America and poverty that might do good. We have a video about China being China and sinicizing everyone. We have a video about marginal line. We have a video about USA tipping culture. And we have a video about Pope still doesn't like gays. Hopefully this one does good, because it's funny. Like, it's a funny article. Pope doesn't want, gay bishops. However, he will definitely accept and protect some other certain bishops. However, we already talked about this in the article, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. I find it very funny and silly. And lastly, we got the VODs channel. As you can see, the new VODs have not gotten any attention. That's unfortunate. However, again, this channel has only one subscriber. And that's me. Therefore, I do not expect any views. The Avocado Cartel somehow got 4 views, and the first 2 VODs got also 2 views. Don't forget to deduct 1 view from my main channel, as I like these videos. I forgot to like this, but I believe there was some bug with YouTube which prevented me from doing so. So I'm gonna close this. I'm going to close one window capture here so you see better. There you go. And we can start. I don't care. So at the start of the stream, I'm going to talk about the European elections. The elections are going to be held in 3 days, between 6th and 9th June. And I believe it is a very important topic to talk about, as the European Parliament is influencing your and my life more and more as the years go on. Eventually, they want to even ban the cars, selling cars on the fossil fuels. They want to go full on electric boogaloo. I do not like banning stuff. I do believe that a lot of stuff could be resolved by smart regulations and generally by humans being smart. That's a very naive, hopeful wish. However, definitely go vote. Just even if you do not find that anyone to your liking, you should vote. I believe every party, every nation in the EU has a lot of minor, tiny minuscule parties, or even maybe some meme parties trying to get into the European Parliament. You might think you will be wasting your vote, I guess, but no, that's not how democracy works, or that's not how democracy should work. Your vote matters. And if you do not find any mainstream party to be to your liking, then you should definitely look for an alternative. In better case, make your own party and promote your own beliefs. You might be thinking that nobody will listen to your beliefs, but believe me, if you are a good speaker or a decent enough speaker and you have a clear set of beliefs, then people will always come to you. and there will always be some people who follow the same or similar visions. I believe the ideology is not good for humanity. I believe we should follow our beliefs, and we should elect those who represent our beliefs the most, or are closest to our beliefs. I understand that a lot of you are upset now with the current governments and want change. However, voting for the opposition is not going to change much or anything at all. You are just going to be voting for another pack of snakes. They are all snakes. It doesn't matter if you look at the left or if you look at the right, everybody's a snake. And they just want to exploit you. They just want your votes to remain in power and to benefit monetarily. They say the youth, has a potential to change things, to change the planet, to change the humanity. And that is indeed true. However, the current state of youth continues to vote for the old parties, for the old dinosaurs that has been in the game for decades. This will not bring any change. You will be wasting your vote, as you will be voting for those that have been in power for many, many years, for those who've been benefiting for decades, and for those who frankly do not give a damn about your votes, who do not give a damn about voters. Therefore, it is your responsibility to create a new way of thinking, a new set of beliefs, and a new party. It is imperative for the youth to bring something new to the table, and in the current spectrum, the youth remains as a puppet to the elderly, and the youth remains useless. There aren't many young, promising politicians. Of course, you may point a few worthy to disprove my point or to counter my point. However, do you think it is enough? Do you think this is the young generation that should bring change? That should change the course of this world? The course of our humanity? I do not think so. Sorry for the quiet. I just wanted to have a bit of a breather. And also I wanted to drink a bit of water. I believe the humanity, the youth, has a very bright potential, has a magnificent potential to bring change and bring some sort of new harmony, new prosperity to the future, to the humans, to the to the future, to the present. However, at the current state, the youth is simply obsolete. There is nothing the youth brings to the table. Instead of, well, only a few chosen are visible, only a few chosen cry, only a few chosen roar. However, do they bring change? No. They protest, they roar, and they roar some more. Yet nothing change, or little change. If you want to bring change, you have to bring something new. You have to bring new party, and you have to group up and become something. You have to be something. You cannot lay your fate to the hands of those snakes who've been profiteering of you for decades. Of you, your ancestors, your grand ancestors, and who will profiteer of your children, your grandchildren. If you want change, you have to bring it yourself. You have to roar. You have to innovate. You have to create. I think that is all. I think that is all I wanted to say. As you can see, I'm not good at speeches. I just went silent there for like 2 minutes. But hey, I was not really thinking it too. I was thinking about it a little bit before we started. However, I did not build any script, so that's why I just went quiet. But yeah, this is something I had on my mind. I'm gonna read this short. Okay, actually, I'm not. Oh, those are just highlights, so I'm gonna read the next article. The Sakharov Prize laureates call on Europeans to vote and defend democracy. I'm gonna read something to it, and after that, we're gonna go back to our usual. And I once again forgot to select my articles in the ground news, so I'm gonna spend quite a bit selecting articles. Sorry about that. I forgot. We actually have quite a bit of articles. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 articles to go to. We have a lot of fun and also a lot of time. Hopefully I'll be able to finish in like 3 or 4 hours. I don't know. Depends how long those articles will be. After that we're gonna go Dark Souls. But now let us go back to the article. Sakharov Prize laureates call on Europeans to vote and defend democracy. Svetlana Tsikhanouskaya, Alexandra Matvichuk, and Laurent Saleh are among these Sakharov laureates calling on citizens to vote in the European elections. In a hashtag Use Your Vote campaign video, recent Sakharov laureates and their teams share messages with EU citizens ahead of the 6th to 9th European elections. We are losing freedom in the world. Use your vote to defend democracy. Use your voice for those who cannot, said Alexander Matvichuk, the 2022 Sakharov Prize for the Freedom of Thought laureate and chair of the Center for Civil Liberties, an NGO recording war crimes and crimes against humanity committed by the Russian army in Ukraine, which was awarded the 2022 Nobel Peace Prize. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Give me. Alright. Dear fellow citizens of Europe, in Europe you have a precious gift, the power to elect your leaders and shape your future, underlines Belarusian opposition leader Svetlana Tsikhanouskaya, one of the 2020 Sakharov Prize laureates. Wasn't she candidating as on the Belarusian president? But I believe I forgot his name. Lukashenko just ran them out, or was like, or wanted to imprison them. Maybe I would have to Google it. Democracy is a system that is difficult to build, yet also very easy to lose. Adds Laurent Saleh, former political president, 2017 Sakharov Prize laureate, representing the democratic opposition in Venezuela. The video also features Leonid Volkov, former chief of staff of Alexei Navalny, 2021 Sakharov Prize laureate, who died in prison in Russia on 16th of February 2024, and was one of the strongest oppositional voices to Vladimir Putin. Members of the Sakharov Fellowship Network, like the fashion designer Louise Shin from Sweden also shared their message with the EU citizen. Background. The Zucker Prize from Freedom of Thought is the highest tribute paid by the European Union to human rights works. It recognizes individuals, groups, and organizations that have made an outstanding contribution to protecting freedom of thought throughout the prize and its associated network. The EU assists Rotarians who are supported and empowered in their efforts to defend their causes. I believe this is all. As I said, vote, vote, and vote. And as I said before, do not give your voices to the opposition. Those are just snakes who will gladly accept your votes and profit of you from the upcoming years. If you are young, or if you are of any age and want change, you have to create the change, you have to bring the change, and you have to make your own party. You cannot depend on the others to do it for you. You cannot depend on the others to enrichen you, to enrichen your people, to enrichen the people of this world, of this planet. You cannot depend on the people to do what's right. You can only depend on yourself to do what is right and what is necessary for the democracy and for our world to go forward and prosper. Vote. I know European elections aren't exactly attractive. However, European Union is playing larger and larger role in our lives every day, every moment, every day, every hour, every minute. Soon, European Union will likely become something more. Do you want incompetent people in charge? Do you want those clowns that are going into European Union for another 5 to 6 years to be there another term and another and another? You want those incompetent people to create laws for you? Or should I say regulations that will be accepted into your own laws eventually? Do you really want those people there? Or do you want someone better? Someone more informed? Someone who is connected with you, with your generation there? Both. Only you can bring the change. You and only you. No other. It is only up to you to bring the change. To change the course of this cursed planet. To change the course of this cursed civilization. Let's move on. And we are going to the news segment. Oh yeah, I just wanted to show you. I also show my news bias on Twitter every week, how it changed and progressed. So far you can see it's pretty balanced. I don't really have many articles from the right. The reason is following as the right usually have some sort of is either not allowed in my region, probably because they do not comply with the EU's policy about protecting data. And also they sometimes show information I do not like them to show on my screen, like New York Post, which shows my email address, just on the screen. Like, why do you do that? If I wanted to use my email, then I'm going to do that myself. I'm gonna click on it. Like, do not show it just out of the blue. Like, come on. Let us move to the first article we got from the UK, I believe. Oh no, it's from the US actually. Philadelphia. Pride marches face off with pro-Palestine protesters after they broke parade route. This is only covered by the right media, so I'm going to try to take this with a grain of salt. We might gonna see some videos. Hopefully there's nothing explicit shown there, as I know these kinds of things sometimes happen. And yes, you can see that only so far only the media with mixed factuality or low factuality cover this. So yeah, we have to take this with a grain of salt. Breitbart, sure, I guess. Let's go for Breitbart. Okay. A cadre of anti-Israel protesters booked an LGBTQ pride parade on the streets of West Philadelphia on Sunday, halting the procession. The protesters were heard chanting a variety of anti-Israel slogans that have been said at protests around the country. They could have been heard shouting "Palestine Belly Forever" from the sea to the river, and "No Pride in Genocide." I said the G word. Sorry about that. Video captured the moment. I think they probably shown this on Twitter, on the Twitter videos and stuff. Yeah, I mean, the people who said it usually are just Americans, just stupid Americans who are shouting some random slogans. They are stupid. Like, this is not helping anything. Like, you are supposed to be talking about the hardships the Palestinian people are going through, and not shouting some stupid slogans, Palestine will live forever, from sea to river. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is this going to help? No bad in G-word. Yes, that's actually good. That's actually a good argument. Yeah, like but I will say this: they should definitely be more, shouting that about the hardships they are going to, that they are, encircled by the Israel forces. I believe Israel forces might have even launched an offensive into Rafah already, so there will be a lot of that people. However, yeah, I mean, this is good though. Like, people are just going to go now into, the Pride Fest and completely forget about Palestine, as they always do. Like, Pride Fest now, we don't care. Yeah, that's, you are very, how to say it. Whatever. Let's move on. Let's not get too much angry. Also, I do not hear much. According to the New York Post, the blockade happened at the intersection of the 11th Street and Locust Street after the Philly Pride March and festival kicked off around 10:30 a.m. at Washington Square and headed to the city's neighborhood section. Others wore Palestinian-style kufiya, scarves around their heads, and one protester could be seen holding a white sheet stuffed to look like a deceased child wrapped in a shelter. Oh my god, dude. Fuck off, dude. In about there's a 90% chance he knows nothing about the child suffering. Like, whatever. The outlet added, the protest highlights a growing tension between segments of the Democrat Party base, who believe that anti-Israel protests should take precedent over other causes like LGBTQ activism. Well, yes, the Democratic base is definitely getting a bit divided before the election, which is not good for them. I still believe that they are going to solve this. The Biden is pushing for peace in Palestine exactly because of this reason. He knows that there's definitely a friction going in the Democratic Party. and he wants to solve this, so he's pushing on Israel, and he's also pushing on the Hamas. As for this, I do definitely agree that the Palestine protests should have a priority, as people are actively suffering in that region, and it should have a priority also because those people who are in Gaza, who are in Rafah, every day they are growing more and more desperate, more and more angrier. What do you think is going to happen when the peace eventually comes? Sure, you're gonna be rid of Hamas, but somebody's going to come afterwards and just overtake their place. Nothing is going to change. They are going to be angry at Israel, they are going to be angry at the Western world, which they are probably even now. And the new cycle of destruction and pain can begin. And Israel, I believe Israel stated that they do not wish to occupy the entire Gaza region. Maybe, who knows? I'm not going to read the comments. As I said, this is right-wing media with mixed factuality. I'm not going to bother, reading those comments. I know the factuality has nothing to do, but I mean, we're gonna take a look, okay? There are no comments to be seen. Oh. Okay, we cannot see the comments, so fuck this. Let us get out of this. This was a short one, and I didn't really have anything to talk about here. I exhausted myself doing the EU speech, whatever. Zelensky accuses China of pressuring other countries not to attend upcoming Ukraine peace talks. Yes, China is day by day starting to support Russia more and more visibly. Let's see, do we have... There's a lot of articles, so hopefully we can pick something good. Sky News, let's go. I'm gonna take another sip of water, my throat is not doing too hot. But back. Hope I'm gonna be able to talk more, and I'm going to be able to talk a bit more about the articles we have, because this first article was horrendous for me. I didn't have anything to say there. Honestly, if I could outright delete it, because it was basically no value added. Just some random rambling. Ukraine boy Volodymyr Zelensky accuses China of being Russia's instrument in disrupting Swiss peace summit. Possible. Wait a moment. I'm gonna seat myself. Okay. The Ukrainian leader last week pleaded with his counterparts in China and the US to attend the summit in Switzerland in mid-June, which is aimed at finding a peaceful solution for Ukraine, but both are set to miss it. Interesting. So he's actually starting to seek a peace solution. Well, it took him a long while. I mean, there was definitely a copium that they were going to kick out the Russians in 2023, which turned out horrible. It was almost a catastrophe. The catastrophe would be if they did not capture anything. They did capture Robotine and some other villages, however, Robotine was recaptured by the Russians. So it seems they are now trying to find some sort of peaceful solution. We'll see. He probably still wants, Russians out. So that may be why the US and Chinese are missing it. because they know it would lead to nowhere. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused China of helping Russia disrupt a global peace conference in Switzerland. Speaking at the Shangri-La Defense Forum in Singapore, Asia's premier security conference. Security conference on Sunday, Mr. Zelensky said China is pressuring other countries and their leaders not to attend the summit on peace in Ukraine, scheduled for 15 or 16 June this year. Russia, using Chinese influence in the region, using Chinese diplomats also, does everything to disrupt the peace summit, he said. Regrettably, that is unfortunate. There's such a big, independent and powerful country as China is an instrument in the hands of Russian President Vladimir Putin. China is not an instrument of Russia, alright? China is not an instrument. Remember that. China's foreign ministry did not respond immediately to a request for a comment on Zelensky's accusation. Appearing in a video last week, Mr. Zelensky appealed to his US and China counterparts to join the Swiss summit, but Beijing said on Friday it would not be attending because Russia would not be taking part alongside Ukraine. Oh, I see. Okay, so they wanted to have talks about peace with Russia, without Russia. Yeah, that's... I can see why they did not want to attend. And yes, it is possible that China is using that influence to disrupt these peace talks. At this point, the Russians have a bit of an... Well, Beethoven is an operative, but they do have definitely an initiative on their side there. They are making some small gains here and there on the Eastern Front. The fighting there is still very wild. A lot of casualties on both sides. A lot of fighting is happening every day. Also recently, Russia had made a new front on the near Kharkiv, and there are rumors that there will be opening another front. I'm not sure how true that is. However, considering that I think I seen some article on Ground News, I did not pick this to the stream that some Russian oil refinery was hit once again, and then there was some casualties. So the Russians will probably once again open up another front, maybe. We'll see about that. However, if this is true and they do open up another front, then this is definitely going to be a very hot for Ukraine. If you and your adversary were start on the trench warfare for about 2 years and then suddenly your enemy opens up 2 new fronts, then you know then there's something wrong, and the enemy is either trying a desperate push to win the war or is actually gaining the initiative, which would be the latter with Russia. Russia still has a lot of manpower left. US President Joe Biden, on the other hand, is set to miss the summit so he can make it to California for a campaign fundraiser alongside George Clooney and Julia Roberts, Bloomberg reported. Yep. Biden is trying to win the election, so he could care less about Ukraine now. That's the truth. China, which has found itself increasingly isolated from the West since it launched the full-scale invasion of its smaller neighbor back in February 2022, has not been invited to the talks. That's also a problem. They should be invited to the talks. Yes, you're gonna argue that they are the aggressor. However, you cannot really make a peace if you do not bring both of the parties to the table. Like, that's a fact. Like, how do you think the Korean War or any other war would be settled? Like, if the aggressors would not be brought to the table, like, what do you think would happen? Do you think they would just bomb themselves there forever? No. Obviously, the Soviet Union would start using nukes. The United States would also start using nukes, and we would be in deep shit. Like, these are fucking war. This is fucking war. Like, not a children's playground. It says the summit will be meaningless without its presence, indeed. In a speech on Sunday, Mr. Zelensky urged top defense officials to attend the forthcoming summit, saying he is disappointed at the failure of some countries to commit to joining. Mr. Zelensky said Ukraine has proposals to make at the summit as a basis for peace, addressing nuclear security, youth security, the release of prisoners of war, and the return of the Ukrainian children abducted by Russia. Oh, nothing about territory. Interesting. Time is running out, and the children are growing up in the Putin land, where they are taught to hate their own homeland, he said. Yes, indoctrination. And yeah, the Russians will definitely indoctrinate those children and any other Ukrainians in the conquered land. Because they know, like, if they didn't, the Ukrainians would be fighting back as a resistance movement, and it would they would have eventually the 1991 all over again. In Ukraine, emergency power shutdowns have been imposed in most of the country except for 3 regions, a day after Russia launched a large-scale attacks on energy infrastructure and claimed it made gains on eastern separatist province of Donetsk. Saturday's drones and missile attacks on energy targets injured at least 19 people. We do not want UN Charter to be burned. I would like UN to be disbanded in its all entirety, with the one exception of its humanitarian wing. Otherwise, it can disband. Like, we already once tried the League of Nations and how it worked out. Yep. Mr. Zelensky said Ukraine is ready to hear various proposals and thoughts that lead us to an end of the war and a sustainable and just peace. The greater the participation, the more likely it will be that Russia will have to listen, he added. Well, the Russia will also maybe have to listen if you invite them. That's one thing. Yes, the global majority can ensure with their involvement that what is agreed upon is still implemented, he said. Mr. Zelensky said, we truly count on you supporting this summit and that you will be present in Switzerland, while referring to Singapore and other countries in the region. I'm gonna add my two cents to this. Russia do not care about what other major powers think of them, except of China, obviously, because China is increasing the trade with Russians and they are providing them with resources. Russia has nuclear missiles, and as that, they will not care about, some pressure from foreign powers. They will fight until either they run out of manpower, which will be very hard and very unlikely for Ukraine to achieve, or until they get what they want, which is the worst case scenario for Ukraine. At this point, the Ukraine should aim to get some sort of ceasefire, get a chance to regroup, reorganize, and be ready to either re-engage the Russians on a better foot, or straight up give up territory. Obviously, the first the first outcome is better. To prepare, reorganize, regroup. That's the better case for the Ukrainians. As long as they keep fighting at this point, the more territory they are going to lose. They do not have enough manpower, that's a fact. They do not have enough weapons. And they do not have enough points. And the NATO is not producing near enough. They are ramping up their production, however, even then it's going to have to be limited. Because the longer NATO stays on like high expenditures for their defense industry, the more dissent there will be from people. It's hard. It's very hard. EU and NATO in general just can't go into war economy unless they are in a war. Otherwise, the people would start to revolt eventually. Earlier in the day, in his address to the forum, Chinese Defense Minister Dong Jun did not specifically mention the Switzerland meetings, but did say on the Ukraine crisis, China has been promoting peace talks with a responsible attitude. He added, China has not provided weapons to either side of the conflict. I heard from the UK that they are. I believe I did not read the articles, I don't know exactly the specifics. I would not be surprised if they are giving Russians their own weapons, mostly because they want them tested. They want to know how effective they are in warfare so they can improve their own arsenal and improve on the weaknesses they have. We have never done anything to fan the flames, he said. We stand firmly on the side of peace and dialogue. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin also attended the conference and sat in front row as Mr. Zelensky spoke. Mr. Austin told the group that Putin's war of aggression has provided us all with a preview of a world that none of us would want. We've been all inspired by the courage of Ukraine's troops and the resilience of Ukraine's people, he said. A world none of us would want. What is so different about that world? That there is imperialism. Come on, that's been here for centuries, if not millennia. Imperialism has been part of human culture for millennia at this point. We should strive to get rid of this part of ourselves, and we should strive to unify as a race. As once we reach the outer space, once we become an interstellar civilization, if we become at all, we will going to have to be united. Otherwise, we will fall very quickly when met with alien races. And yes, you may be wondering that why am I saying alien races at such confidence? There are aliens in the space. That is fact. That is that scientists will tell that's not confirmed, but that is confirmed. There is a life in space. We do not know where, but there is though. There is life. We do not know where, not because that we cannot look, but because we are looking into the past. The farther we look, the more into the past we look. We do not know how the galaxies look at the current moment. We only know how the galaxies looked at some point in their history. As long as this is the case, we will never be able to find alien life. Or maybe we will be able to find them, however, we will be able to find them in their past selves, which is also very dangerous. Because if you assume no change had happened, then you are very likely to get unpleasantly surprised. People around the world have rushed to help Ukraine defend itself, including countries across Indo-Pacific. Yes, there's a lot of volunteers on Ukraine from all sorts of countries. It's been definitely a major help to the Ukraine to help hold. I'm gonna close this. I think this is all. Yes, this is all. So they're gonna have to invite Russia to the talks. Obviously, this is just childish game at this point. Like they have to negotiate with Russians. People will argue that like what they are going to negotiate about because Russians want the land and etc. Well, you have to. You just have to negotiate. If you do not negotiate with the aggressor, there will never be peace. And people who think the Ukraine can beat Russia are delusional. They cannot. Like their summer offensive of 2023 had proven that very, very convincingly that they cannot beat the Russians. They can defend. The question is for how long. I remember even watching some videos from the old leader of one of the larger guys of the Wagner company, Prigozhin, talking about that the Russians are planning for the long war, for the attrition war. Like the Russians have no problem playing the attrition warfare, as they do produce 3 million artillery shells every year. They have no problem doing the attrition warfare. They are exploiting the African countries for their resources to fund their war. They will be also raising taxes, more on that later. The West, meanwhile, is getting more and more indebted, which could cause a very large catastrophe if some country was to break. I'm gonna show you this side one day, maybe tomorrow, if I do not forget about this. For now, let's move on. We're gonna read like 2 or 3 more articles, then I'm gonna have a short break. Maybe not. I'm gonna read more articles because I know the sooner I take a break, the more breaks I'm gonna need in the process. What do we have here? Oh, this. We have France suspects foreign interference after coffin swept at Eiffel Tower. 5 coffins were discovered near the Eiffel Tower in Paris, leading to a police investigation into the potential foreign involvement. The coffins were covered in French flags and had the message "French soldiers in Ukraine" written on them. We got Radio France International and nothing. Okay, what about the right? I do not want to read Russia today. Okay, Le Figaro. Oh, that's French though. Le Parisien. I'm gonna try to translate it to English. Yes, accept. Okay, we're gonna read the Le Parisien. It's going to be translated, so don't expect much from it. There are going to be some mistakes from the translator, obviously. Coffins placed at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. Police custody, suspicion of interference, what we know about the investigation. Employees of the Iron Lady made a strange discovery on Saturday morning. 5 coffins were placed at the foot of the monument. The 3 in custody were brought to the courthouse on Sunday evening with a view to opening a judicial investigation that day. It was a discovery to say the least. Unusual that the employees of the Eiffel Tower, 7th arrondissement, made on Saturday morning, and certainly some tourists from the floors of the Iron Lady. Some have noticed the presence on the ground at the level of Jackie Quay, which runs away from alongside the monument on the scene side. I don't know how you do pronounce this. It's Sein? No, it's not Sein, that's Deutsch. It's like Scene River. I know I heard the pronunciation in a World War II game, however, it's been so many years ago. I just don't remember anymore. Clean sign. I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm gonna pronounce on this side of the riverside. Yes, that's going to be better. Of 5 coffins, 3 individuals were arrested and placed in police custody, including the driver of the van behind this astonishing delivery. The 3 in custody were brought to the courthouse on Sunday evening with a view to opening a judicial investigation to that day, indicates the Paris prosecutor's office. Okay, so this was just longer. This headline. This was a longer headline. Okay. Bulgarian driver paid 40 euros for delivery. Saturday around 9 a.m. near the Eiffel Tower, 3 individuals placed a 5 real-sized coffins on the public highway covered with a French flag with the inscription of French soldiers of Ukraine. Indicates this, a police source at Parisian, an intervention by Central Laboratory and the Dog Brigade revealed that the coffins contained bag of plasters. According to the information from a police source, the driver of the van used for transport was able to be arrested nearby thanks to the rapid deployment of personnel. He said he would have been paid 40 euros to transport the cargo and the attendants. He reportedly arrived from Bulgaria the night before. The other 2 suspects managed to escape, but the police think that they have found them. At Bercy bus station, the back, I think that's the current pronunciation. The back of the 12th arrondissement actually arrested 2 men who were preparing to take a bus to Berlin, according to our information. The 3 suspects are Bulgarian, Ukrainian, and German. That's definitely an interesting trio. And yes, I mean, even you could hear some information from Russia that some people were, convinced into doing some sort of arson against the Russian military, and something similar will eventually happen here because money is everything in this world. You need money to do everything. Like 40 euros is definitely not a lot, though, I must say. However, you cannot really get. I don't believe he could go into jail. If he was paid 40 euros, then I mean, he should have informed. But then again, I don't know. Like, I actually don't know what to say about this. I mean, he could always play this. I mean, he did not know what was there. Maybe he thought it was just some sort of art thingy, There's a lot of excuses he can pull out of his ass. And most likely he won't because he's a bull. Okay, I'm not going to say this. But genuinely, when I read about Bulgarian scammers or any people who are more a little bit criminal, they aren't exactly the most intelligent people been talking to, so he'll probably maybe say something stupid and he'll get he'll get something like 2 or 3 years. Although that's unlikely because I mean they did not hurt anyone or anything like that. I do not know the bench was though. Okay, he was paid 40 euros. Saturday around 9 a.m. near the Eiffel Tower, 3 individuals placed 5 real-sized coffins. Okay, so even he was placing them. That's it. On the public highway covered with a French flag with the inscription "French soldiers of Ukraine." Indicates this, a police source at Paris in the event. Okay, we've already. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Sorry about that. I was reading this again. Foreign manipulation. The investigation was entrusted to the Paris Territorial Security. The 3 suspects were placed in police custody on Saturday for premeditated violence. Well, this is not exactly violence, but whatever. Should we see this as a warning to France when the head of the state does not rule out sending troops to Ukraine? At the Eiffel Tower, the subject is taken seriously. It's to denounce France, which is involved in the war in Ukraine, said an employee, and added, it is Russia's desire to voluntarily disrupt France throughout various actions. The Paris prosecutor office has not confirmed anything at this stage. But the recent attempts to destabilize the Kremlin are still fresh in our minds. At the beginning of May, 35 red hands were sprayed painted on the wall of the righteous at the Shoah Memorial. I do not know anything about this. A procedure was already adopted on All Saints' Day when numerous stars of David were stencilized on buildings in Paris. However, stars of David are not related to the Russian war in Ukraine, though. That's related to the Palestine. Accident publicly denounced by the Quai as a campaign of Russian influence. Somehow, I doubt Stars of David has to do anything with Russia somehow. And this... I think this was... I don't know. I would believe it was probably because of Palestine, but maybe I'm wrong. In an internal message sent this Sunday to employees of the Eiffel Tower, which a Parisian was able to consult, we learned that this incident occurred at the edge of the monument access around 8:45 a.m. at the exit of the SAS of the Northern Pillar. Barely 3 minutes later, around 8:48 a.m., a police crew saw the coffins and a mine clearance operation took place around 9:20 a.m. An intervention almost in the minute, which must be welcomed, indicates the internal note. Still, in this same message, it is indicated that this firing was made fortunately without seriousness, and that it once again marks the media and the resonant nature of the incidents on the edge or on the Eiffel Tower. Okay, that's it. That was our show. I was hoping to learn a bit more about this. I already read this in my local media about this incident. I mean, if you were paid 60 or 40 euros, was it? 40 euros for delivery, that's pretty goddamn cheap. And it's definitely void of how some people can be so easily bought to do stuff like this. Like 40 euros, that's nothing. I believe that wouldn't even cover his expenses, actually. No, that would nowhere near cover his expenses to travel to France from Bulgaria. This is definitely annoying because people will do a lot of stuff for money. And money is everything in this world, as I said before. Moving on, we got some football/soccer article. Germany coach blasts public broadcaster for asking if there should be more white players in his team. Yes, this is actually an article. And this is actually a study that had happened. Let's read Sky News again. Germany manager Julian Nagelsmann condemns survey asking fans if national team has enough white players. A survey from German state broadcaster ARD found 21% of the 1,304 randomly selected participants would prefer if more players with white skin were playing for Germany. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be molding. Stop showing me titties. I don't want them. Germany manager Julian Nagelsmann, or Julian Nagelsmann, to be more precise, has condemned a survey by a public broadcaster asking fans if they would prefer more white players in the national team. The poll by German state media broadcaster ARD found 21%. Yes, we read that already. Okay, so we're gonna ignore this. Okay, noted this. Thank you. Nagelsmann said it was madness for the broadcaster to ask such a question. Yes, I completely agree. I thought about it briefly, and I have the feeling that we need to wake up a bit, Nagelsmann said. There are people in Europe who have had to flee because of war, economic factors, environmental disasters, people who simply want to be taken in. We have to ask, what are we doing at the moment? We, in Germany, are doing very, very well when we say something like that. I think it's crazy how we turn a blind eye and simply block out such things. Indeed. This is a very disgusting questions to ask. Like, if should there be more players? National teams are meant to be made of the absolute best in your country. And if the absolute best of your country is more made up of a player from certain ethnic group or certain pigment color, well, then you should try harder if it bothers you. Like, that's that's all I'm going to say to you. Like, if it bothers you, work harder and train harder. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, there's no reason why you couldn't be on the national team if you try hard enough. All of the players that are on the national team have played well, very well. They have been trying their absolute best to represent Germany in the Euros, and having articles and having polls like this is just disgusting. The national team is made of the best. It's not made of some sort of. It's not made of some sort. I don't know. I'm not. It's not made of some, quotes to have like certain percentage of certain people there. Like, that's stupid. It would be stupid, and it would be discriminatory against the players who tried and were training hard enough. It's as simple as stupid. Nagelsmann said he agreed with midfielder Joshua Kimmich's comment that the survey was absolutely racist. He said Kimmich was correct when he said football team can be a role model for how different coaches, religious backgrounds, and skin colors can join in a group to work together towards major goals. I always find it bizarre that we all go on vacation to get to know other cultures, and then other cultures come here and we complain about it. It's bizarre. Nagelsmann says, yes, because most people go on beaches and are annoying there. They're annoying the locals there, the natives. That's how the vacations usually go on around. So I can't go on vacation then. I always have to stay where I am. Well, I would love to go on vacation. However, I do not have any really good places I would like to go in. Maybe with like down a few of places or nations I would like to visit. At the moment, I do not have funds for it. I mean, and even then, even if I had, like, I wouldn't be using your money to go on vacation. I would be only using mine. It is good as it is. Nagelsmann agreed with Kimmich in saying that he does not want to do without any of the players he nominated in his squad, including black players. It is good as it is, Nagelsmann said. We are playing a European championship for everyone in the country, and anyone who can play top football is invited to be a national player and give their all for their country. And that's what we are doing. And I hope I never ever have to read about such survey again. Very professional response. I do not have anything else I can add to it. A perfect response, honestly, from Nagelsmann. Germany will play Ukraine on Monday in their first warm-up game for the Euros 2024, then Greece on Friday. The host nation will kick off the tournament with their opening game against Scotland in Munich on June 14th. Oh, it's already this week or this month? Well then I'm gonna have to watch it then. Like it's... I completely forgot it's this month already. But yeah, I completely agree. Nagelsmann gave a absolutely spot on response. Like, polls or articles like this are complete lunacy. Like, the German national team and every other national team are made of the best. Maybe with the exception of England. England coach likes to play favorites, but that's on another topic, and that's the problem of the British if they cannot, kick him out. But yeah, I digress. The national teams are made of the absolute peak. If you have a problem that there's way too many of players of certain pigment color or certain ethnic, you can always become a world-class football player. Like, what is stopping you? Like, I believe I believe 90% of you can become a world-class player if you try hard enough, if you are disciplined enough. But you don't do this. You don't become a world-class player. Instead, you just complain. You just complain on the internet that they are taking, the Germany's national team is too black. Well, then do something about it. Become a better player. Anyways, moving on. There are no comments on Sky Sports. I should already know that. There are no comments there. Germany knife attack. We got another one about Germany. The police officer dies of his injuries. A 29-year-old officer died after being stabbed during a far-right rally in Germany. The officer sustained multiple stab wounds to the head and neck. A 25-year-old suspect from Afghanistan was shot and injured at the scene. Okay. Sky News once again. I believe somebody will eventually start telling me that I read Sky News way too much, but hey, it's very easy to read. Police have not publicly suggested any possible motive. A police officer who was stabbed during an attack at a far-right rally in Germany has died. A 29-year-old was one of 6 people who suffered serious injury in the center square of Mannheim on Friday. Chancellor Olaf Scholz posted on X, former Twitter, that he was deeply grieved and said that the officer's commitment to safety of us deserved the highest recognition. The officer was stabbed several times in the head and neck. A 25-year-old suspect from Afghanistan was shot and wounded at the scene. He remains in hospital and a judge has ordered he be held on suspicion of attempted murder. But he murdered him. The officer is dead. There's no suspicion of attempted murder. This is murder. Okay, that's a weird sentence, Like, if you attack somebody and he die, you murdered him. And it doesn't matter if it was your intent or not. You hit somebody with a knife, he dies, you are a murderer. Period. That's easy as that. What the fuck are they talking about? Police and prosecutors have not publicly suggested any possible motive for the attack. However, it happened during an event organized by the German far-right group Pax Europa. Oh my god, fuck off. Piss off with these Roman names. I cannot say the word on Twitch, but Germans using Roman words. Like this fucking universe, this reality we lived in is fucked. Pax Europa. Pax Europa, my ass. I hate it. I hate it when anyone from the left, right, center uses the Romans as an example. The Romans would be fucking the Romans would be facepalming on you with the way you are handling the situation, the way this world is in the current the world is going to now and going to in the future. Pax Europa. What a joke. Just to be completely clear, I love Roman Empire. I love the history of the Roman Empire. And I hate when people use Roman stuff or they talk about Romans like they know something about them. They do know jack shit about Roman Empire. They do know jack shit about the Romans. But no, they're gonna use it. Oh yeah, how many times a day a male thinks about the Roman Empire? How funny. Fucking idiots. The Romans would be disgusted by the stuff our political parties do. And how I would like to say incompetent, however, the Roman Senate was equal as incompetent as the European parties or the world parties in general. Anti-Islam activist Mikhail Sturzenberger, 59 years old, who is one of the group's leading figures, was among those wounded. The other victims were 4 men aged 25, 36, 42, and 54. The 54-year-old man suffered injuries that were initially thought to be life-threatening, but he's now expected to survive. That's a very short article. Well, I mean, some of you probably already saw the videos when he was stabbed in the neck, the police officer. He was pacifying somebody and the guy, the guy from Afghanistan just, stabbed him in the neck. That's a murder. That's straight up cold murder. Like, there's like no debate about that. And if you want to debate, then you're a fucking lunatic. You're a maniac. You have to be put in the madhouse. Like, that's a murder, and that's a fact, an undisputable fact. And as for the very Pax Europe, oh, I'm modding. Oh, I'm so angry. I would love to do another rant. Oh, I would love to do a rant about this. But I'm not going to bother you with that because I would have to publish this video after I make such a rant. But as I said before, I hate when the people of 21st century talk about Romans like they know who they were. Like they know anything about Rome. They do not. And people in 21st century are a joke. They are a parody. This entire century is one big parody of humanity. Moving on. We're gonna read 3 more articles, then I'm gonna take a pause. Biden presents new Israel ceasefire plan, calls on Hamas to accept. Alright. Damn, that's a lot of articles. Alright, we're gonna have a lot to choose from. Sorry about it. I yawned. Chosen personal. Oh, that's Nigeria. The Christian Science Monitor. Probably not. Sky News. Okay, we've already had Sky News quite a bit. We have a 100 articles to choose from. Come on. Let's read Washington Top News for a change. Biden details a three-phase hostage deal aimed at binding down the Israel-Hamas war. Well, most of the hostages are already dead. That's the truth. President Joe Biden on Friday detailed a three-phase deal proposed by Israel to Hamas militants said that he says would lead to the release of the remaining hostages in Gaza and could end the grinding nearly 8-month-old Mid-East war. Biden added that Hamas is no longer capable of carrying out another wide-scale attack on Israel at the moment, as he urged Israelis and Hamas to continue to deal to release the remaining hostages for an extended ceasefire. The Democratic president in remarks from the White House called the proposal a roadmap to enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages. Biden said the first phase of the proposed deal would. Biden said the first phase of the proposed deal would last for 6 years and would include a full complete ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from all densely populated areas of Gaza, and the release of the number of hostages, including women, the elderly, and the wounded, in exchange for the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. American hostages would be released at this stage, and the remains of the hostages who had been killed would be returned to their family. Humanitarian assistance would surge during the first phase, with 600 tanks being allowed into Gaza each day. They are not going to agree to this, Israelis, by the way. I'm pretty sure. The second phase would include the release of all remaining living hostages too. They are not going to agree to this at all. The second phase would include the release of all remaining hostages, including male soldiers, and Israeli forces would withdraw from Gaza. And as long as Hamas lives up to its commitment, the temporary ceasefire would become, in the words of the Israeli proposal, the cessation of hostilities permanently, Biden said. The first phase calls for the start of a major reconstruction of Gaza, which faces decades of rebuilding from both devastation caused by the war. The 4.5-page Israeli proposal was transmitted to Hamas on Thursday. Meanwhile, congressional leaders on Friday invited Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to deliver an address at the U.S. Capitol. The invitation from House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Republican, and a Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, a Democrat, has been in the works for some time, though there is still great concern, especially among Democrats, about Israel's pursuit of the war. No date for the speech was set. Biden acknowledged that keeping the Israelis proposal on track would be difficult, saying there were a number of details to negotiate to move from the first phase to the second. One roadblock to overcome during the first phase would involve the two sides agreeing on the ratio of hostages to prisoners to be released during the first phase, according to a senior Biden administration official who briefed reporters on the condition of anonymity. Biden remarks came as the Israeli military confirmed that its forces are now operating in central parts of Rafah in its expansive offensive in the southern Gaza city. So yes, they are already in Rafah. I believe they sent in some tanks and are clearing the Rafah as we speak. He added that Hamas said it wants a ceasefire and that an Israeli-phase deal is an opportunity to prove whether they really mean it. But even as Biden pressed for the war to end and for the day after to begin, Israeli officials had made clear they remain committed to a military defeat of Hamas. The Democrat is in the midst of a tough re-election battle and has faced backlash from some on the political left who want to see him put greater pressure on Netanyahu government to end the war. Netanyahu's office, in a statement following Biden's speech, said that he authorized Israel's hostage negotiating team to find a way to release the remaining hostages. But the Israelis maintain the war will not end until all of its goals are achieved, including the return of all abductees and the elimination of Hamas military and governmental capabilities. The Prime Minister's office also called for the exact outline proposed by the Israel to be followed. I can wait. There you go. This is something I can definitely agree on, especially this. I can definitely agree on this. And I will speak about it more later on. Matt Dawes, Executive Vice President for the Center of International Policy in Washington, said the Netanyahu reaction suggested the possibility of daylight between proposal Israel would accept and to what President Biden outlined. Hamas said in a statement that it viewed the proposal presented by Biden positively and called on the Israelis to declare explicit commitment to an agreement that includes a permanent ceasefire and complete withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza, a prisoner exchange, and other conditions. Israel has faced growing international criticism for its strategy of systematic destruction in Gaza, a huge cost in civilian lives, Israeli bombardments and ground offensive in the besieged territory have killed more than 36,000 Palestinians, according to Gaza's health ministry, which does not distinguish between combatants and civilians, okay? Good to know. Biden also addressed those in Israel who resist ending the war. Some members of the Netanyahu far-right coalition have opposed any deals that fall short of eradicating Hamas, and they have called for an enduring occupation of Gaza. They do not have funds. Well, they do have funds, but they do not want to use those funds on occupying Gaza, as that would hurt their economy. They want to keep fighting for years, and the hostages are not a priority to them, Biden said. I've urged leadership of Israel to stand behind this deal. Biden, in his remarks, made no mention of establishing Palestinian statehood, something that he has repeatedly said is key to achieving a long-term peace in the region. The US administration has also been working to forge normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia, the region's two biggest powers, but the Saudis are opposed to any agreement that does not include concrete steps toward creation of Palestinian state. Israel launches war in Gaza after Hamas' October 7th attack, in which militants stormed into southern Israel, killed some 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and abducted about 250 Israel said, what the fuck happened? Oh. Sorry about it. I have no idea what happened. Israel says around 100 hostages are still captive in Gaza, along with bodies of around 30 or more. Ceasefire talks are ground to a halt at the beginning of the month after a major push by the US and other mediators to secure a deal in hopes of preventing a planned Israel invasion of the southern city of Rafah. The talks were stymied by a central sticking point. Hamas demands guarantees that the war will end and Israeli troops will withdraw from Gaza completely in return for a release of all the hostages, a demand Israel rejects. Yeah, Hamas has no right to demand anything. They will act as they are told and nothing more. The outline of the new Israel proposal is nearly identical to Hamas's own proposals of only a few weeks ago, according to Biden's administration official. And that is it. So I'm gonna say what should realistically happen. Every single member of Hamas should be put on a trial and should be sentenced to an appropriate sentence, as this was a war crime they committed, and we should make a right stance where those let's do it again. So every single member of Hamas should be put on a trial and should be sentenced a fair judgment. Should have a fair judgment. That was sentenced their fate. We must never ever allow such atrocities to be committed. We all know what happened in the 30s and the 40s, and we should make a clear stance of what is going to happen if people are trying to replicate it or even try to come any close to it. So yes, I'm talking about the rope. And the most important thing is that the Palestinians have to depose Hamas themselves. They have to depose Hamas. Not the Israelis, not the United States, not anyone else, but the Palestinians. Palestinian people have to depose Hamas for this cycle of hatred to stop, at least for a moment. At this point, Palestinians are already enraged with Israelis as it is, so there will be new recruits for Hamas to recruit, and they will commit this atrocity again. Therefore, their entire leadership should be put on a rope, and most of the members should be tried and sentenced to many, many years in a prison. And this should be an exemplary and this should be an exemplary. I forgot the fucking word. That's when I try to make some fancies. Oh, fuck this war, and fuck. Let's move on. Okay, I'm so pissed off because it was sounding so good, but then of course I had to once again make that stutter with exemplary. And what exemplary? Like what the fuck? The word, come on, give me the fucking word. Let's move to something about space. China went a spacecraft on the far side of the moon. I'm gonna Google something in. So give me a bit. I have to know. Example. That just sounds so weird. An example. I guess I should have used this, but whatever. Oh, I'm gonna. No. I have to pull up this thing. No, I do not want this. There we go. We got the chat back up for me. And I'm gonna read this article, then we're gonna take a short pause. How many do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I think we've read some. I forgot how many we had at the start. We've been talking for about an hour and more. The Chinese spacecraft successfully landed on the far side of the moon on Sunday, marking a major achievement for the country and growing 21st century space race with the US. Sorry about that, my throat is doing stuff. The Chang'e 6 lunar probe, named after the Chinese mythical moon goddess, landed at about 6:30 a.m. Beijing time in the South Pole Aitken Basin, a large crater. The probe is set to collect rock and soil samples from the surface that could provide valuable insights into how the lesser explored far side of the moon compares to the near side. The mission involves many engineering innovations, high risks and great difficulty, the China National Space Administration said in a statement. The payloads carried by the Chang'e 6 lander will work as planned and carry out scientific exploration missions. Using a small robotic shovel and a drill, the probe will collect about 4 pounds of surface material that will be launched into the lunar orbit with a small rocket booster and picked up by an orbiting craft. God damn. No other country has landed a probe on the far side of the moon, and the Chang'e 6 is China's second. Missions to the far side of the moon are especially difficult because of communication challenges and its pockmarked deep craters. The probe launched early last month, with the mission expected to last about another month. The two spacecraft have reached the moon so far this year, one Japanese and one from US startup Intuitive machines. Yes. Chang'e 6 is the sixth moon exploration for China, as it heavily invests in space exploration. The country also operates its own crewed space station in a rivalry with the International Space Station, and says it will place astronauts on the moon by 2030. We will see. That mission would make it second nation to place astronauts on the moon after the US. No person has set foot on moon since 1972, though NASA has plans to go back in 2026 at the earliest. The American-led Artemis missions are planned to rely on significant support from private space companies and are in partnership with the Canadian, European, and a Japanese space agencies. Boeing's Starliner program, the company's first step into the private spaceflight, has faced repeated delays in attempts to launch its first craft this month. Yep, the space race is heating up, and it's a very good thing. I believe the AI is going to help a lot with this space exploration, hopefully. And maybe in our lifetime we will see people actually start, living on moon. I doubt they will live on Mars. That's too over ambitious. Then again, like, come on, like, how long can I live? I mean, I can live one more day. I can live a year. I can live 20 years. Let's say I live 40 years. Like, that's a long while. Like, the humanity can definitely do it. Like, the technologies have been spearheading as of the last years. Anything is possible. And moving on, UN refugee chief says 120 million have fled homes because of nation failed to tackle causes of conflict. Yes, that's very true. Washington top news. Perfect. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Be right back. There we go. Copy. Uh, Apologies. Somebody was knocking on my doors. I'm gonna have to send a text message, so be patient with me. Okay, this might be a problem for me to stream then. If they're going to be working here, then I'm gonna have to make shorter streams. I'm gonna figure something out. We would probably we would be doing those streams in like evening in my regional time, and they will be shorter. Anyways, let's move on. I'm gonna be a bit more quiet now, so I'm not heard in the outside. Not that I mind, but I don't wanna distract anybody. So the number of people fleeing their hometowns because of war, violence, and persecution have reached 114 million and is climbing because nations have failed to tackle the causes and combatants are refusing to comply with the international law. Yes, nobody gives a fuck about the international law. The UN refugee chief said Thursday. A lot of wars happening, a lot of conflicts are happening around the globe. Okay, that was nothing. We have the Burmese civil war going on, Sudan. We have some ethnic instability in Ethiopia and Eritrea borders. We have the instability in the Western Central Africa, the Niger, Chad, Mali region. We have the governments that being overthrown. And even in this South America, it's also a bit on the ropes. I mean, there's no conflict like between nations, but there's instability inside those nations, cartels, in favelas in Brazil. A lot of stuff is happening. And yeah, UN is completely useless. As I was saying many times before, UN is a useless organization, a waste of money. The only good thing they are for is the humanitarian aid. And that's about it. Yes, Congo as well, DRC. Yes, short-sighted. The governments usually just care about the wars in the other regions as long as it is on the mainstream news, or as long as the people and their voters care about it. Afterwards, they just suddenly start reporting. They just stop talking about it, and they focus on the new big news, on the next big conflict. I'll probably not gonna be reading this because I think everyone should have an opinion about UN at this point, and most of you should have probably a mixed opinion. Yes, the conflict has not over because of the opposition, but the US, obviously US is key ally to the Israel. They have been investing a lot of money for the Israel to actually get some sort of working relationship with the other countries. So Yeah, they do not want this to go to waste. Mhm. Yes, Syria, obviously. 13 years of conflict in Syria, millions of Syrian refugees. I don't know how it started, even though I know it was probably in opposition to the president Bashar Assad, I believe his name. You may hear some noises, I hope not. 13 years of conflict, yeah. I mean, this cannot happen. This would be horrible if this goes on. I mean, it's possible that this might actually go on for so long because people are very short-sighted, and the Israelis know that. They know that the support for the Palestine will eventually go down. The people will forget about it. Like they are maybe waiting for the next big thing. Yeah. After that, people will forget. There will be some, loudmouths from time to time, but people will generally not care. And after that, they can be in Gaza as long as they want. As I said before, Hamas has to be destroyed completely, and more importantly, the Palestinian people, the people have to depose the Hamas. Yes, it's very unfortunate what is happening in the world, and it's a wake up call for many people that we are not in the peaceful times. Like there's a lot of conflict still going on, and the UN is doing absolutely nothing or very little. People don't care about what the UN thinks, and some bigger players should realize it. Moving on, we're gonna. What do we have next? The ultra-Orthodox protesters blocked Jerusalem roads ahead of Israel court decision on draft exemptions. Oh. The draft exemptions divide Israel, posing a risk to the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's leadership with a pending court decision likely soon. Let's see. We're gonna read about this. Quick on detail, yes. Alright, I'm gonna take a short break because there are noises in my background. I don't know if you hear it or not, however, it's going to be like so for a bit. So I'm gonna take a pause, probably for like 15 minutes. I'm gonna eat something small. I'm gonna take a break and we'll be back soon, so stay tuned. Okay, we're back. Hopefully it's going to be quiet now. I'm gonna change the news. You can see my Twitch window. There you go. Just give me a moment, I'm gonna figure out some things out, and afterwards we're gonna move on. Hopefully there won't be any more distractions. Again, apologies for that, unfortunately I cannot... Oh no, there are still voices. God damn it. I do not think I can actually... Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, that's simply unfortunate. It doesn't matter. Okay, fascinating. I'm gonna pull up the chat and we're gonna move on. I know this theme is kinda messy. The entirety of it is really messy. I don't have anything much to say. Anything constructive. Apologies for it. I maybe cut it short and just go for Dark Souls. We'll see. You know what? I'm just gonna we could go over it. How long is this? It's very short, so let's read this. Ultra-Orthodox protesters blocked Jerusalem roads ahead of Israeli court decision on death exemptions. Dozens of ultra-Orthodox protesters blocked roads in Jerusalem on Sunday as Israel's Supreme Court heard arguments in a landmark case challenging a controversial system of exemptions from a military service granted to the religious community. The court is looking at the legality of the exemptions, which have divided country and threatened to collapse Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu governing's coalition. The decision is expected in the coming weeks. Most Jewish men and women in Israel are required to serve a mandatory military service at the age of 18, but the politically powerful ultra-Orthodox have traditionally received exemptions if they are studying full-time in a religious seminaries. These exemptions have infuriated the wider general public, especially as hundreds of soldiers have been killed in the war with Hamas. During Sunday's arguments, government lawyers told the judges that forcing ultra-Orthodox men to enlist would tear Israeli society apart. The court suggested offered a target of enlisting 3,000 ultra-Orthodox men a year, more than double the current levels, but still less than 25% of the overall numbers. Okay, I do not know the Israeli politics in detail. However, I would assume these ultra-Orthodox want war with Hamas. So they want war, but they do not want to fight. How brave of them. In Jerusalem, Israeli police cleared protesters from roads and forcefully removed those who briefly blocked the city's right area. Demonstrators chanted to prison and not to the army. Okay. In March, the court ordered an end to the government subsidies for many ultra-Orthodox men who do not serve in the army. Very good. Netanyahu faces a court-ordered deadline of June 30 to pass a new law that would end the build exemptions, but he depends on the ultra-Orthodox parties to prop up his government, and ending the exemptions could cause them to leave and trigger new elections. That would be definitely a twist. And there's nothing more. Maybe comments if they load. We're gonna wait a little bit for the comments. Maybe they're gonna load, maybe they're not. It does not seem to be loading, so we're gonna move on. We still have plenty more. Venice bans loudspeakers and limits tour groups in the latest mass tourism crackdown. Yes, they are tired of these annoying tourists. Venice bans loudspeakers and limits tour groups in the latest mass tourism crackdown, seeing an estimated 25 million visitors every year. Venice had built in a series of measures tackling overcrowding and mass tourism. From today, loudspeakers have been banned and tour groups have been limited in the Italian city. The Venice has introduced new rules tackling mass tourism, with loudspeakers now banned and tour groups limited to just 25 people. The Italian Canal City now, which welcomes an estimated of 25 million people a year, announced the measures in December in a bid to tackle mass tourism. Coming into effect from Saturday, the new rules say tour groups are limited to 25 people in Venice, as well as the islands of Burano, Murano, and Torcello. Loudspeakers have also been banned as they generate confusion and disturbances. Yes. Certain individuals are very intelligent and play some really stupid shit. Elisabetta Pesce, the official with responsibility for the city's security, said last year the latest rules are aimed at improving the management of groups organized in the historic center. It marks the latest crackdown on mass tourism for Venice. In April, the city rolled out a $5 a €5 fee for day trips throughout the summer in a bid to thin the crowd. Simone Venturini, Venice's top tourism official, said at the time, "We need to find a new balance between the tourists and the residents. We need to safeguard the spaces and the residents, of course, and we need to discourage the arrival of day trippers on some particular days." However, some residents protested the measure, saying more attention needs to be paid to boosting the local population and services they need. Venice passed a milestone last year when the number of tourist beds exceeded the number of official residents for the first time, who now number fewer than 50,000 in the historic center. In August, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO recommended Venice to be added to its list of World Heritage Sites in danger over growing concerns of overcrowding and unsustainability. The agency said steps proposed by the Italian states to tackle the issues are currently insufficient and not detailed enough. Venice avoided being blacklisted in 2021 as Italy banned cruise ships from entering its lagoon to defend its ecosystem. UNESCO members cited the then banned day tripper fee as a reason to keep it off the endangered list. Fascinating. Very fascinating. Yeah, there are no comments, obviously. Yeah, tourists are definitely an annoying bunch. I do not quite understand how UNESCO is doing these lists. I mean, if the local residents do not mind, or a majority of them do not mind, then I don't know, like, it's tough. It's tough. Huh? I mean, then again, you have to realize then on Ibiza and other like holiday destinations, the people, well, they are not on UNESCO. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's pretty true. At the moment, we're not feeling it today. Oh well, let's keep going. I'm not feeling it at all. I might have to. I'm gonna probably eat something after we read more articles. Oil Alliance OPEC Plus extends collective crude production cuts into 2025. Not surprising. The Arabs want to, enrich themselves and fund some projects as well. And it also serves as some sort of geopolitical ammo towards the US, specifically towards the elections. Because Biden wants low oil prices for his people. So he can, present a working economy. Even though I would argue the US economy is not going too hot. You see investing.com, Reuters. There's not many people who actually write about this. See TAS, okay. Le Figaro, ABC. That is something Spanish? Yeah, that's something Spanish. Arab News, no. Saltwire. Saltwire, okay. Oil price, and what about the left? News, The Guardian, CNN, yay, yeah. Oh, US sentiment is neutral. I would argue, I disagree, I cannot click on this. US sentiment in the US market is great, extreme great. Like, come on, look at the Nasdaq. Like, this is insane number. Oh, we cannot see the Nasdaq. I would love to see. I'm gonna show you the Nasdaq index. So give me a moment. Give me a moment. I'm gonna be Nasdaq. Okay. So okay, we got this. We got Nasdaq. Okay, the technologies and all that stuff. In 2020, there was during the COVID era, Trump era, 10,000. That's 4 years ago. Now it's six. It's almost 17,000. Like that is incredible growth. And yes, there's been some correction. However, it's been going up again with the AI hype. And yeah, this is very dangerous. The position the Nasdaq is in now. Like you can see there. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't not. It does not look good for the years. I mean, this is just look at how it grew. Like this is extreme growth. Yeah, you had one correction, but now it's back again. Like this will probably not end well for the world economy. Ever since it's been started, yeah, 1994. I mean, if somebody would hold from 1984 to 2021, damn. Okay, back to the article. Ouch, my back hurts. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, a group of leading oil producers known as OPEC Plus, agreed Sunday to extend production cuts announced last year into 2025. The group said in a statement that it would extend a cut of 1.65 million barrels per day, announced in April 2023, until the end of 2025. The cut was due to expire at the end of this year. It is also extending a cut of 2.2 million barrels per day, announced in November, until the end of September this year, before it is gradually phased out on a monthly basis by the end of September 2025. That cut was due to the expire at the end of this month and came on top of previously agreed reductions of 3.66 million barrels a day announced in 2022 and 2023, as the group led by Saudi Arabia and Russia tried to counter soaring demand and rising output from the United States. The group also released its 2025 production requirements for member and non-member countries, which were essentially the same as this year's. United Arab Emirates production quota increased by 300,000 barrels per day. The uptick will be phased in gradually from January throughout September 2025, the group said. Sunday's decision means the OPEC Plus group will continue to restrict supply for at least next 18 months, but gradually start drip feeding some extra barrels back into the market later this year. Prices subdued. Despite the OPEC Plus cuts, total equivalent of the 5.7% of the global crude supply and ongoing tensions in the Middle East, global oil prices have fallen by about 11% since hitting a 5-month high in early April. The price of Brent crude, the global oil benchmark, ticked up by 0.1% to trade at 81% at $81 a barrel by 4:30 a.m. ET East time on Monday. It traded at $91 in April when a suspected Israel attack on Iran's embassy in Syria sent jitters throughout oil markets. The price of West Texas Intermediate crude, the US benchmark, also rose by 0.1% by the same time on Monday, moving trade to $77 per barrel. It is down from near $87 per barrel in April. Saudi Arabia needs Brent crude to trade at around $81 a barrel in order to balance its budget, according to the International Monetary Fund. Subdued prices have partly been the result of the record US oil output, which has bumped up global supply and concerns about sluggish demand in China, the world's biggest importer of oil, and other major economies. In its most recent monthly report, the International Energy Agency cut its forecast for the growth in global oil demand this year by 140,000 barrels per day to 1.1 million barrels per day, citing weak demand in developed countries, particularly in Europe. Despite the weaker growth forecast, a supply crunch could develop. The IEA expects global supply to increase by just 580,000 barrels per day this year. In March, the Paris-based agency said it expected there to be deficit in supply in 2024 if OPEC Plus extends its output cuts throughout the rest of the year. Sunday's OPEC Plus decision coincides with Saudi Arabia selling some more shares in its oil company Aramco. The government is selling less than 1% of the Riyadh listed company in a deal that could raise $13 billion for economic diversification projects. Yes, Saudi Arabia is trying to diversify. Most people view them as just a land of sand and the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. They are trying to diversify, whether it is in esports or sports in general. Because they know that once the oil runs out, they will be irrelevant. So they need to find a way to remain relevant to the world stage. And a way to keep the money going. Otherwise, a lot of people would move out. Alright, the next up, we got something about Russia. The Russia tax increase. Russia waits up its biggest tax shakeup in almost 25 years as Putin scrambles to finance Ukraine war. Let's see Sky News. I'm gonna take a break again. Yes, I know, we've been only up for 15 minutes. I'm gonna eat something. I'm gonna check the outside and I'll be back soon. So I'm just gonna mute myself, not even do anything. And yeah, be right back. I'm gonna also eat something. Okay. Be back and we can continue. I'm definitely not feeling too well today, so I think I'm gonna cut this short a bit. After we read this article, I'm just gonna read the headlines and decide whether I want to read this or not. And afterwards, we'll move to Dark Souls for only a little bit, and I'm gonna cut this short. I'm gonna edit the European Parliament, elections, and that's going to be it. I'm definitely not feeling too good today. Apologies about that. Unfortunately, this is what it is. So, Russia made its biggest tax shakeup in almost 25 years as Putin scrambles to finance Ukraine war. As the war in Ukraine drains the Kremlin's coffers, the government is scrambling to find new ways to finance it. After near 3 decades with most Russians paying just 13% in taxes, Vladimir Putin is eyeing up a radical shakeup. 13% in taxes. Wow, that's pretty goddamn low. Like, might as well move to Russia for God's sake. That's so these are so good taxes. Like, I mean, sure, the life quality in Russia isn't as good as it could be in the top European cities. However, I mean, for these taxes, I mean, that's fucking worth it. Like, that is unironically worth it. I don't know how the entrepreneurs have taxes there. Probably a bit different, but I mean, I would be definitely interested in being in Russia now. Just joking. Although the taxes are pretty good. Signs of Russia's so-called special military operations are everywhere in Moscow, from roadside recruitment adverts to Z-themed souvenirs. Now there is another example, a proposed tax hike that amounts to the biggest shakeup of the Russian tax system in a quarter of the century. As the war in Ukraine drains the Kremlin's coffers, the government is scrambling to find new ways to finance it. They're exploiting African countries for their natural resources. Its answer is a new progressive income tax rate that will target the wealthy, as well as a rise in corporation tax. The proposals were first proposed by Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, on the campaign day ahead of its re-election in March. Analysts say he was forced to act. Defense spending has surpassed 8% of GDP and is sucking up nearly a third of the state budget this year. It seems like the tax reform is a tool to move the economy from butter towards grants. Alexander Coriander, a non-resident senior fellow at the Center for the European Policy Analysis, said, "The government is no longer concerned about you eating well, but rather about you producing more grants." I mean, 13% from taxes, like, my country has about, well, my country used to have 21% up until like early 2020s maybe. So I mean, and they will probably raise the taxes now. They do not want to because people would be, outraged how they will have to raise taxes eventually again. So I mean, this argument about butter is a bit baseless. The government, the reform marked a dramatic departure from the Russian leader's previous tax policies. In 2001, shortly after assuming office, he introduced a flat rate of 13% that was applied universally, and most Russians have been paying the same rate since. The most simplified, a previously complicated tax regime which few adhered to, and it successfully boosted revenues and its popularity as a result. A higher tax rate of 15% was established in 2021 for those earning more than 5 million rubles, around £43,000. Now the finance ministry wants to lower the threshold for the 15% rate, so it applied to annual income from 2.4, around £20,000, to 5 million rubles, and introduce more bands above. Incomes between 5 to 20 million rubles, around £43,000 to £174,000, will be taxed at 18%, those between 20 to 50, around 20%, and anything over 50 million rubles at 22%. That's really not that bad. Like, that is actually not that bad. Under the proposals, corporation tax will also increase from 20 to 25. So this argument is complete bullshit, complete bogus. Like, let's see, 13% to 22% to general population. Like, that is actually not bad. Like, that is nothing like unusual. Like, I'm sorry to say to, but like those are completely average taxes. Like this will not worsen your living standards unless you've been in complete shit. Like those are completely normal taxes in the EU, well, or at least in my country. And in EU, it's probably worse because the richer people who earns a certain amount of money and beyond have to also pay like 8% solidarity tax. So this is really not that bad. If adopted by the Russian parliament, the changes will come into force next year and generate 2.6 trillion rubles in the budget revenues, the government said. For the past 2 years, the Russian economy has been running on state spending, Mr. Coriander said, and the exploitation of the African countries. But nobody ever say that. Nobody. They always want to have the narrative that Russia is alone in the world, although they have their ways, to generate revenue, even if it comes at the cost of other countries. But it cannot last forever because in effect it's mortgaging your future, while the world economy also cannot last forever. That's the sad too. And especially if the world debt is going to go up at the current rate. Like USD debt at almost 35 trillion, I believe. Debt, like that is insane. Japan has like 12 trillion, by the way. That's also alarming as hell. China is also indebting themselves. Everybody is indebting. Everybody will bankrupt. To get this mortgage more appealing, you will need more money. According to Kremlin, the 3% of the workforce will be affected by the changes, which it insists are fair. It says the reform should solve national problems, reduce inequality, and help develop Russia's regions. But the official line has been met with some skepticism on the streets of Moscow. I think they don't have enough money for the special military operation, that's why they are introducing it, Sergei told Sky News in Moscow. Uyana agreed. I don't think it's fair to tax more from 200,000 rubles a month. This will just affect people who work a lot. That's not the truth. That's truth only in half, because the lowest earning class won't be affected, the workers class won't be affected by much, and those are the ones who work the most, arguably, of course. In reality, everyone here is affected by Russia's current path. This is merely the latest impact and it will be felt in people's pockets. Yes, however, but not that much. Not that much. Like this is not a major tax spike. I was expecting something much more drastic. Like this sounded very interesting. However, what I read was pretty meh. Like, yeah, they increased taxes. I mean, but here's a reality for you: the Western countries are going to increase taxes as well. Like they're indebting themselves at stunning pace. Like they have to find some way to stop this, and they will tax you to ground. Otherwise, the entire world economy is going to collapse one day. So you might be thinking, oh yeah, the Russia, the war is draining them, and then suddenly your government introduces new taxes, and you're like, what the fuck? Moving on. What do we have next? Estonia ratifies an accession to become a 24th member in one of Europe's key scientific bodies. I won't be reading this one. I want to keep some energy for the Dark Souls. You may read it yourself. Oh, here it is. Yeah. I thought it was interesting, but I mean, I'm not doing too well, so this is nothing good that groundbreaking. However, it's a nice news, to know that the European countries are investing in science and stuff. Orban stages a peace march in Hungary in a show of strength before European Parliament election. I probably won't be reading this. Maybe. I'm gonna take a peek, okay? Click on Detroit, okay. Oh, it's not that long. Yeah, Viktor Orban is anti-war. With those signs, no war. He's also very friendly with Russia, so I mean, you could probably guess who he favors in the conflict, most likely. I don't think Hungary is. I don't think we would do anything here, but yeah, peace matches, they'll be definitely more frequent as the time goes on. Like, more and more people are getting fed up with that conflict and want it to end, and they don't really care just what Ukraine has to give. So, next one. Oh, there's something about... I want to read this. I'm gonna take a look just how long the article is. Stories purged to amend Equality Act to define sex as a biological sex. Wait, I already have the tweet, so I mean, I'm not going to... let's see. Oh yeah, we have it as a first, so I'm gonna put it here. And we're gonna read it as some sort of... We're gonna read it once we get to the Twitter bizarre. North Korea to suspend sending trash bins to South Korea. Okay, we're going to read this one. There's no... I think... Yeah... Sputnik Globe. Oh, sorry about that. Nothing interesting. Alright, I think CNN covered it, hopefully, or AP News. ABC. Oh, Japan Today actually covered, so let's read Japan Today. Okay. Okay, I have to cover this. Come on, this is... South Korea to suspend military pact with North over trash balloons. Okay, this is definitely a different wording. South Korea plans to suspend a military agreement signed with North Korea in 2018 aimed at easing tensions, the presidential office said on Monday, after Seoul warned of strong response to balloons launched by Pyongyang carrying trash to the south. North Korea has launched hundreds of balloons carried by wind across the border that dropped trash throughout South Korea, which called it a provocation and rejected Pyongyang's claim it was done to inconvenience its neighbor. National Security Council said it would raise the plan to suspend the entirety of the military agreement for approval by the cabinet at meeting on Tuesday over a fucking bags of trash. They are going to... Alright, so let me get this straight. They are going to cancel the entire military agreement. They had to, ease the tensions over some fucking trash balloons. Okay, that sounds legit. That sounds very legit justification. Suspending the agreement will pave the way for the South to conduct training near the military border and take sufficient and immediate measures in response to North Korea's provocation, the council said in a statement. It did not elaborate what those measures may be. The pact, which was the most substantial deal to come out of months of historic summit meetings between the two Koreas in 2018, had been all but scaled when Pyongyang declared last year it was no longer bound by it. Oh, so okay, so the North already cancelled it first. Okay, never mind. Since then, the North deployed troops and weapons at guard posts near the military border. By continuing to comply with the pact, there have been considerable problems in our military readiness posture, the council said. South Korea previously said it would take unendurable measures against North Korea for sending the trash balloons over the border, which could include blaring propaganda from loudspeakers positioned at the border directed at the north. North Korea has said the balloons were in retaliations for a propaganda campaign by North Korean defectors and activists in South who regularly sent inflatables containing anti-Pyongyang leaflets with food, medicine, money, and USB stick loaded with K-pop music videos and dramas across the borders. Okay, I can definitely understand why would they want send those trash balloons. Okay, this is definitely good. Okay, this is legit justification to send those trash balloons. Actually, okay. Okay, this is very funny. No. Okay, my laugh must sound very weird, whatever. North Korea has reacted angrily to the campaign because it is worried about the potential impact of the materials on the psychology of the people who read or listen to them and on the state's control of the public, experts say. I mean, yeah, no wonder those K-pop songs would, completely destroy their psychology. Just look at the West. Just look at all those people that listen to K-pop. Jesus. Wow. What the reason? I mean, he did not read. Yeah, he did not read the entire article. Again. Well, again, the North Korea has already said they were not bound by that military agreement. So, I mean, the Seoul is not exactly at the fault here because the North had already, stepped away from the agreement. So they are not at the fault. Oh, we have a K-pop fanboy here. No, the article makes it clear that the North reacted like emotionally disabled children. I cannot say anything because I could get banned on Twitch. To banning and even positive actions by the South. Sending K-pop is positive. Yeah, that's K-pop fan detective. K-pop fan detective here. K-pop fanboy detected. Food, medicine, money. Okay, money is useless in North Korea, kinda. That is useful. That is useful. That is not useful. And this. Yeah, this can definitely. Oh my god. If the North behave like responsible adults, oh my god, here we go. If this, if that, responsible adult, well, you're definitely not a responsible adult if you write stuff like this, bro. And they would have sent entire leaflets along with many items of value they serving of blah blah blah. And they only garbage. I would argue that they do have some stuff, however, not many. Oh yeah. Oh, if they leave it, I mean, they took that K-pop persona and they did send them the honest response. Like, honesty is very rare in this age. So yes. Okay, let's see it a bit more. Startup speakers busting K-pop again. We know that dogs hate that. Actually, dogs love it. Oh yeah, K-pop fanboys. That's absolute garbage. Like garbage of humanity. Oh my god, the more superior it is. A few hundred pieces from North Korea, that's quite a small number. The amount of trash coming to Japan from South Korea is much more than just a few hundred pieces. Like China, South Korea also dumps trash into the surrounding seas. Before criticizing North Korea, South Korea should first start by adhering to the London Convention and cracking down on dumping of trash into the ocean. You may try to read this article if you want. I will not bother myself with this. But okay. Seems like even the South Korea is releasing trash somewhere it shouldn't, so they are not completely innocent here. As I said before, we got some K-pop fanboys. Never ever debate with K-pop fanboys. They have literally zero critical thinking, and their arguments are about as they're about as constructive as fucking Putin's argument about Russia's history and why Russia has claims on Ukraine. Yes, I chose the most easiest one because I could not think of anything else. Why the Israeli army says the Israeli army says it is investigating itself. Oh, I can't. Okay, fuck. I can't. Okay. Those are some good articles I put in. Okay, we're gonna have a good laugh at least at the end. I really need it because I'm not feeling too well. So, Washington top news. Very good. Okay. Throughout its okay. Let's not laugh. Let's read. Throughout its grinding 7-month war with Hamas, Israel has pledged to investigate a series of deadly events in which its military forces are suspected of wrongdoing. Yes, a lot of innocent civilians were murdered by radical soldiers. The commitment comes in the face of mounting claims from human rights groups and International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor that the country's leaders are committing war crimes in Hamas-ruled Gaza. In one of the highest profile cases, an attack on the World Center kitchen convoy that killed 6 foreign aid workers and their Palestinian driver, the Israeli army promptly published its finding and acknowledged misconduct by its forces and dismissed 2 soldiers, but other investigations remain open, and admissions of guilt are rare. Yes, that's unfortunate reality. A lot of military war crimes just get forgotten, or they just get thrown under the buried 6 feet under the ground and never talked about again for at least 20 years. Israel's military advocate general, Major General Yefat Tomer Yerushalmi, said this past week that the military is investigating about 70 cases of alleged wrongdoing. She gave few details. The military refused to disclose the full list of investigations and told the Associated Press it could only respond to the queries about the specific probes. A look at some of the investigations that have been publicly announced. Okay, there are some examples. I won't be reading them. You can read them yourself. Yep, stuff like this happens. That's absolutely true. Post. Okay, this is all. They just provide some examples. You can read that if you want. I won't, as I already read about this stuff. Yeah, Israeli soldiers are committing work. Some of them soldiers are committing work crimes as be charitable. Yeah, this is only good. And yeah, that's your reason why the Palestinians will be definitely enraged at the Israelis. And it does not seem like this problem will be ever resolved. Moving on. I thought it would be something more funny, but this was serious. So, India's Modi's plans post-election reforms to rival Chinese manufacturing. Reuters and NDTV. Probably no. Nah, we're not gonna read this one. Yeah, India is trying to catch China in manufacturing. They have cheaper labor than Chinese. That will obviously change. I mean, yes, the West may invest in India to become a new, China, to new poor China. However, the Indians will eventually get rich and their workers will have to be paid more. So I mean, eventually the Indian goods would no longer be cheap goods, and yeah, the companies would probably flock to China or other big, poor country to get cheap manufactured goods. What else is here? We have 4 articles left. That's good. But I've been watching. I'm not feeling too well. Schumer promises Senate will vote on right to contraception this Wednesday. I don't feel like talking about this today, so we'll skip this. Republicans make Biden's EV push and election year issues as Democrats take a more nuanced approach. Donald Trump says Biden administration policy to promote electric vehicles is a radical plan that would kill the economy in automating states. Republican allies in petroleum industry have spent millions on ads that say President Joe Biden tax credits for EV buyers will cost Americans their freedom. More of a reason to buy an EV. I won't be reading this paper as well. Make your own mind on the EVs. I'd say Tesla and some others are still kind of expensive. Although the Chinese are bringing in some cheaper alternatives, which do seem to be pretty good. So Tesla and others will be forced to drop these prices because they want to expand in Europe, and Europe still allows Chinese cars to flow in, which I would dare to say is luckily, because if they would not allow, then the EV car prices would be probably much higher in Europe. On the one hand, this definitely enhances the Chinese influence on EU. On the other hand, you're gonna get a much cheaper EV than you would get if the Chinese goods were banned in EU. So it's like double-edged sword. Boeing blocked from increasing 473 MAX production amid ongoing safety concerns. Yeah, you've heard about Boeing, and you heard also about whistleblowers dying out of nowhere. There's no need for me to talk about this. You already watched probably videos from other big YouTubers and streamers. So this is just some interesting. I would talk about it if I was doing well, but no, not today. Oh yeah, they also had problems with usage. This is also why I don't like planes, and the reason why I do not want to fly with planes, because it's just is really scary stuff for me. I would rather take a ship. I would rather take a much longer ship, you know, ship route than go with plane. I would also, of course, I would pick a private jet over a ship. However, like, who would give me or you or anyone else money for this? Like, and we go for the bizarre. I'm gonna take a short pause again, and very short pause. I'm gonna leave this thing here, and I'm just gonna take something to eat and be right in a moment. And we're back. I forgot to turn up the background music, but I don't think you'll mind. I'm gonna check something in a minute. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Everything seems in order. And we can go. So you could already see. We got one tweet from Rishi Sunak. Biological sex matters. We are protecting women and girls. He's talking about this. Yeah. Oh, yes, he's talking about this. Transgender athletes may have to compete with their biological sex under Tory's proposed shakeup of Equality Act, says Keme Badenoch. I have a feeling the Labour will probably not allow this, unless they do want to push this before the July 4th election. Under the yeah, they do want to have transgender athletes to compete in alongside their biological sex. I mean, alongside the sex they were born under. It's protecting girls and women. No, like they would. Alright. Do you want to know how would you protect women and girls if you actually made, the streets of your cities, your towns safe? That's how would you protect them if they did not have to fear for every man, every stranger, approaching them, and they would, and for them to not just pay for the stranger to not just, whip out knife or something worse. Like, this is not protecting women and girls. Like this is at most protecting the women's sports at most. So I mean, yeah, just get this idiot out of there. What is it? I am no longer an MP. Okay, fascinating. Just get this idiot out of there, and for a long time. Because this is just stupid. This is not helping this is not protecting women and girls. Like, this is a stupid law for stupid people, so they can be stupid and vote for stupid party. Do you want women and girls to be safe? Then make your streets safe. Moran. Or allow them to wear guns, you know? Yeah, allow the girls and allow women to wear guns so they can actually protect themselves from a stronger foes. And yes, like people are, have all these adverts on self-defense stuff and this. Yeah, using this in, training grounds and in real life is very different. Like, humans are unpredictable creatures. Like, you cannot predict what they do. And if you predict wrong, yeah, you might end up dead. What do we have next? Humans without context. Okay, this is just for a small laugh. Up. Okay. This is actually pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely want something like this as well. I mean, yeah, this is very practical. I swear boys don't grow up. Oh, QT Fox. Top 0.4 OF. I wonder what that might be. Okay, nobody cares about you. Girls have no problem. It's all about happiness. Expensive. Like, this cannot be that much expensive, honestly. I would argue some of the bags that come to here are many folds more expensive than this. It took me 9 years to realize even when you trust your close friends and family, don't tell them everything. Yes. It is important to share your fears and some of the troubles you go through. However, you should observe and understand your surroundings very well. Because if you have bad friends and they, start talking about you behind your back, about the troubles you share with one of them intimately and want it not to be, shared to others, then your friends are garbage and this can theoretically lead to some tragic circumstances for you. However, I'm not going to read any further because this bio is disgusting me. Content creator grew my ex brand to 200,000 organic followers. I press X on that. Your name is Valve Bill, so I mean, yeah, you probably attract some idiots. And $89,000 in plus in 4 months. DM and I'll help you grow. Plus monetize your IDs on X. Valve Pill. I hate the people who use red pill, blue pill, black pill, purple pill, pink pill, Valve pill, cock pill. Okay, I'm gonna be. Let's see. I'm gonna take my headphones on. Hopefully, I'm gonna hear something. Kinda cringe. Kinda cringe, not gonna lie. Moving on. Adele says new album will explain her divorce to her young son. And the prize for the best parents in 2024 goes to... This is why so many children are so fucked up. Poor parenting. This is the reason why so many children are like this. Why so many kids are so fucking annoying. Because their parents are completely useless. Travis Scott and Taylor Swift's kid someday. Mamba, do I only see that on weekends? Track 5. Yeah, this is dumb. An unemployed North Carolina man robbed a bank for $1 so that just so they could be sent to jail to receive a free medical health care. Well, that's a one way to get a free health care. A free healthcare exploit. So the question now is, how long before United States nerfs it or patches it? We will see on the next episode of the US Bizarre. Also, in El Salvador, they put 1% of the population in prison and dropped the murder rate by 97%. Funny how that works. No, they did probably gather a lot of data on the criminals and accurately pinpointed every single wrongdoer. Did it really drop by 97%? I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna fact check this right away. Let's see. El Salvador murder rates. There's approximately 2.4 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. That was in 2023. Since 2025, it stood at 103. That is impressive, though. That is impressive. That's something you have to give him a props for this. Like that's incredible drop from 103 in 2015 to 2.4 per 100,000. Like this is first world country types of homicides, and even better probably. By this metric, El Salvador has become safer than the United States and is now only second to Canada in the entire Western Hemisphere. Wow. That is definitely okay. Wow. And so far in 2024, it is 1.6. Oh no. So okay. Oh, this is if the trend continues. Okay. Wow. Fear of police replaces gang violence in El Salvador. Okay. Well. Okay. We're gonna move on to the gaming news. This will be quick. Then we're gonna take a break. Again. Yeah, I feel like we've been taking breaks this whole day. We got, as you can see, we have Oblivion, the other score. This was called How Would You Rate the Other Scrolls Oblivion? So IGN gave this game rating 9.3 out of 10, and there's been 979 ratings of almost 9 out of 10. See leaderboards. Okay, we're gonna see the leaderboards. And I mean, yeah, I would agree. Like, even though Oblivion isn't really the perfect game, it's just fun game. There's just something about Oblivion that's magical. Something that the Bethesda has never ever replicated afterwards. Okay, let's see for the who's the best game of all times is Red Dead Redemption 2. I would argue against it. I disagree. I believe that there are better games. It's a magnificent game. It's amazing game. However, I don't think it's the best in the world. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I never played any Zelda game, so I cannot judge it. Baldur's Gate 3, amazing game, though I do still don't think it would crack top 5. A lot of Legend of Zelda games. Again, I never played it. Persona 5. I heard good things about Persona 5. Last of Us, also amazing game. Probably not, again, probably not the top 5, top 10. Elden Ring, I would argue heavily against this. Like, I know people love. Okay, this is just bro. Like, sorry, that is not. I'm gonna have to do it. Like, this is. Elden Ring is nowhere near a top 10 out of 10 game. Like, this is delusion. And yes, I'm going to play the game. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy it. However, Elden Ring is not a 10 out of 10 game. And it will never be, even with the DLC. Like, it has a tons of reskin bosses. Some of the endgame areas are pretty empty or are filled with reskin enemies. That alone should drop this rating to 9 or a little bit below 9. Like, I'm sorry. Elden Ring is not the best, is nowhere near the best game of all times. Even in the Souls series, I would argue it is not the best Souls game. However, that comes to the own, personal agenda. Why is The Last of Us the original game and remastered? Why? That's stupid. The Last of Us Part 1, that is again another remaster. I have no idea. God of War Ragnarok, I haven't played this, but the God of War, like the new God of War, like from 2018-19, that was also a great game. The Witcher 3, amazing game. Bloodborne, I have to play Bloodborne sometime. I hope they release it on PC, honestly. But I heard good things about it, so I want to play this game. It is nowhere near top 10 game or even top 20 of all time, just to be clear. Hollow Knight, I have no idea what this game is. Legend of Zelda, again, never played this. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, that's nowhere near top 20 either. Elden Ring and Sekiro are nowhere near top 20 games of all time. That's, I'm gonna say this right away. They are great games, but yes, I'm saying, but they are not the absolute goats of the entire industry. They're just not. Mass Effect could be. Probably the original Mass Effect games. I also heard a lot of good things about them. Again, I have not played them. Resident Evil 4. Also, I heard a lot of good things, and it seems really fun, and it seems like a really good game. So I could see Resident Evil 4 cracking top 20, perhaps, maybe. Okay. Mass Effect, yes, this God of War, yes, I think this God of War also could be very good theoretically crack. I don't know, I've not watched an entire walkthrough of this game, and I have yet to play this game, so Portal 2, yes, Portal 2 should probably be in top 15 of all time. A very unique game. Metal Gear Solid, of course, like also legendary games. Final Fantasy 7. I haven't played this. I know there's going to be another remake or something like this that should be coming out very soon, or maybe had already came out. Okay, stop. I have to stop. Stop. Has already been released. Okay. The Last of Us Part 2. Nope. Although. Okay. No. Okay, let me think about it more. In theory, it could crack like top 50. In theory, okay? I'm not gonna say anything more. No, not even top 50. It just has very stupid story moments that just drag this down. Otherwise, it was supposed to be a dividing game. It was a dividing game. There you go. Like that, they got what they wanted. Alan Wake never played this. Minecraft. I mean, mm, Minecraft depends on the what you do with Minecraft. I mean, yes, I guess it is one of the greatest. Okay, it is one of the greatest of the time. But although I would probably group all the games that are similar to Minecraft. Just yeah, it all depends on the community. Half-Life 2, absolutely. That's also one of the greatest. Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, no. I mean, Cyberpunk as a whole, okay. I'm gonna take Cyberpunk as a whole. That's nowhere near even top 100. Nowhere near. Like, I will not forget them the launch. That was that. For Dark Souls 3, no, that Dark Souls 3 is nowhere near. Probably no, not even nowhere near top 100. Hades is brilliant game. Could be higher, honestly. Final Fantasy. Yeah, this is the remake I was talking about, the rebirth. Dark Souls 1. My personal favorite, so I would be biased. Mm, okay, it's not a top 20 nor a top 50 game of what. Maybe not. Yet again, I'm gonna be consistent. I was critical towards the Elden Ring, and I'm going to be critical towards other Souls titles. It's a unique genre that was bring for. However, I'm going to try to be objective, at least here. Otherwise, of course, like this game for me personally is in the top 10. I just really love this game. Again, I'm not sure why they put in the remaster. Stupid. Metroid, never played. Ghost of Tsushima, also never played. Heard some interesting things about it. I have to play this myself. They also released it on PC, I believe now. GTA San Andreas. I guess so. Yeah, Yeah, that's valid. You could do a lot of things there. It was in 3D, although obviously GTA 4 mastered the beginnings of 3D. I would probably rate GTA 4 a bit higher, but that's on my personal preferences. Like, I think objectively GTA San Andreas has to be in the top 50 of the greatest. Resident Evil 4. I don't know about that. No, I'm sorry. Just no. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I could make a video about Skyrim. I could make a long essay, and I might make it. I might be motivated enough to make an essay about Skyrim. Skyrim, content-wise, is just not good enough. Nowhere near good enough. The main storyline is short and bland. The side storylines are short and bland. Maybe with the exception of the Dark Brotherhood storyline. Even that is kind of a bit downgrade to the Oblivion Dark Brotherhood questline, which was magnificent. Like the Dark Brotherhood questline in Oblivion is probably the best questline of the assassin like factions of all time. At least for me, like the quests there were really unique, really fun. And I mean, it has the arguably one of the greatest quests in the video gaming history. Stardew Valley, it has tons of mods, so the community here is very active. I do not know anything about the game though, Super Mario, yes, I would expect Super Mario to be in top 50 of the greatest, so no complaints here. Uncharted, I would also probably include at least one of the entrances of Uncharted into the top 50. Like, I don't know which though, because I never really played them. However, I know they're great. Like, I know, like, there's a lot of good things have been said about Uncharted, and I think at least one of these entrances should be in top 50. Spider-Man 2, I don't know. I don't know anything about the new Spider-Mans. So sorry about that. Yakuza, yeah, that's interesting choice. I have not played a lot of games. Like, I play games, but I usually play the same games over and over again. I will change this, obviously, if this thing gets people who are interested, then I will obviously buy games myself and, show you them. Uncharted, Legacy of the Face, GTA 5. Is it one of the greats? It is one of the greats, okay. Will it crack top 50? Probably not. The GTA 6 could go AWOL. Like, GTA 6 could theoretically crack the top 10. Depends. It depends. GTA 5, a magnificent experience. And it is probably is relatively close to top 10. However, is what I would say if they had, a bit more working. And I'm gonna have to mute myself again.